A former employee with the Federal Aviation Administration is speaking out after he was fired from the agency last weekend. Charles Spitzer-Stadtlander is one of about 400 FAA workers who were laid off by the Trump administration. He posted to LinkedIn that he received harassing messages from the official DOJ Facebook page after he criticized Tesla and Twitter, both owned by Elon Musk. He says, quote, "Less than a week later, I was fired despite my position allegedly being exempted due to national security." Charles Spitzer-Stadtlander joins us now. He's a former National Defense Program worker for the FAA. Charles, thank you for being here, especially under these circumstances. And look, I get it. You can't tell us exactly what you were working on, but can you give us a little bit of an idea so that we can understand why you believe it is a national security risk to cut your position?
Sure. Thank you so much for having me on today. I do wish it was under better circumstances. I was an employee of the FAA National Defense Program, and we are a small agency within the Federal Aviation Administration whose mission is to ensure that the national airspace is protected from enemies, both domestic and foreign. That can be anything from enemy planes like we saw on 9/11, missiles, enemy drones, anything of that sort. And we have a very, very critical and important mission in protecting national security. And I just, after the indiscriminate and unfortunate and likely unlawful terminations of so many of us, including someone like in my role that is a national security critical role, I'm deeply concerned about the safety of the national airspace and about how this is going to impact public safety.
Were you told whether you were being fired for cause?
It's a great question. I actually don't, I'm very confused about that, right? You would think most people, I guess, if they lose their job, they know who fired them, what they were being fired for, and all the circumstances around it. But because of kind of the haphazard way that this occurred, no one in FAA leadership actually knew that I was being fired or can even tell me as of today why I was fired. I did receive the standard email that I guess a lot of federal employees received indicating something along the lines of my continued performance is no longer in the public interest or something like that. It was incredibly confusing for a few reasons, but primarily because the letter came to me at 12:43 in the morning on this past Saturday while I was actually working, had the wrong date on it, had a lot of spelling and grammatical errors, came from a non-government email address. And I had excellent performance evaluations. I had just received a performance-based pay raise that went into effect this pay period. In addition to that, my supervisor had I was near the end of my probation, and my boss had already completed my probation paperwork saying that I had successfully completed probation. So when you take all of that into account, as well as the fact that my position was supposed to have been exempted from these firings due to national security and public safety, I was really caught off guard, and I wish I had more clarity for you to answer that question, but I just don't.
And I got to be quick with you on this next one because I do want to ask you a couple more questions. But can you provide any more detail about the harassing messages that you got from DOJ on Facebook?
Sure. So as you, I believe you have images of, I exercised my First Amendment right in non-government time, not speaking on behalf of the agency, to criticize Elon Musk after he made what I believed to be Nazi salutes at Donald Trump's inauguration rally parade. And as a Jewish American, it was incredibly disturbing and hurtful to me. And I'm not entirely sure why, but shortly thereafter, I started receiving reactions, harassment, and what I believe to be intimidation and bullying by the DOJ Facebook page on my Facebook page. And less than a week later, I was fired.
Like in DMs?
Responding to my posts and commenting on my posts.
My last question to you is going to be a twofer. First of all, what is your next move in terms of finding new employment, trying to get your old job back? And I know that you're speaking out because you feel like this is bigger than you. What do you hope people take away from your story?
Thanks so much for actually making that point. So to answer the second part of your question first, this is definitely bigger than me. This is not about Charlie. I'm just one of many federal workers who have been unlawfully and wrongfully fired. I just happen to be in a position that's a national security, public safety critical role, and I appear to have been targeted because I criticized Doge and Elon Musk. My next steps are actually, quite simple. Federal employees who are on probation don't have a lot of appellate rights. They only really have two grounds: if you're fired for marital status or political retaliation. And unfortunately, for most federal workers, they don't fall in, who are on probation, they don't fall into one of those two categories. But because of the harassment that I received from Doge, and because of other evidence that we have, that my attorneys have, and that we've been able to show, we have a really strong case that I was fired for political retaliation and or for political motivations in the process of appealing. But in order to appeal, my attorneys and I have to know who exactly fired me, when my termination is effective, and whether or not the entity that did fire me actually had standing to fire me, which currently right now it appears the White House is arguing that Doge doesn't necessarily have authority to make decisions. So just a lot of uncertainties right now, which is not what you want in national security and public safety.
What you want personally for your life, certainly. Charles Spitzer-Stadtlander, good luck to you. Keep us posted.
Thank you so much for having me on.